Hey guys, Doug the Michigan Piper, and I am here in my Ford Explorer. I am heading south to Indiana where my brother-in-law lives, and like I was discussing in the last video, we're going to go through a couple of Jeep TJs, otherwise known as a Wrangler, and see how I like them. Not the best day to go check them out, as it is raining pretty good. It's let up just a little bit now, that's why I threw the phone in the dash, but we're going to go down and see. So my nephew has a Jeep TJ, my brother-in-law has a Jeep TJ. He's got the LJ, or the unlimited version. Excuse me while I try not to get in an accident here. LJ, or the unlimited version, which is the longer version, which is what I really want, I think. And the reason why I say I think is because I've never sat behind the wheel of a Jeep before. So I'm going to take you guys along with me. Now, obviously I can't film everything because I'm going to be asking questions and I'm going to be driving, and but I'm going to let you guys in on as much as possible to see how it goes. And I'll let Derek give you guys the rundown on what kind of Jeeps they are and how that's going to go. So super excited though. Either way, rain, no rain, super excited because I'm going to finally get behind the wheel of one of these Wranglers and see what it's all about. So some of the things I got to look at here is he's got the cheap Jeep we talked about I'm going to drive today. That one's probably not the one for me for a couple reasons. One, I need AC. In Michigan, you would not think that the summers would be that bad. However, we're really close to the Indiana line, and in the winter, it can hit 100. Not normally, usually it's in the 90s, but the humidity is what really kills us in Michigan. So having that AC, because my whole goal having a Jeep, sorry about the steering wheel on my head, but my whole goal about having a Jeep is to be able to take the top down, take the doors off, enjoy that. But there are going to be some days where it's just miserable out. So this is not going to be a toy for me. This is going to be something that is going to be my only vehicle other than my wife's vehicle, and I don't usually drive her vehicle because she's got it. So there's that. I got to have AC. I really, 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 really want cruise control because, like I said, there's an occasional trip I'll take to Chicago or like the Ohio Pipe Show, stuff like that. I've only been to the Ohio Pipe Show once, but there will be stuff like that pops up, and I don't want to be miserable on the drive. And then the last thing that I really, really, really want is a manual transmission, stick shift. The reason is because they're just fun, you guys. You get more power. The other thing I like about them is, whether it's a Jeep or not, you don't have to worry about replacing your transmission. Clutch, yes, but clutch is a lot less expensive than transmission. So, but I just absolutely love driving a stick shift. It's fun. It almost makes you feel like a race car driver, So I want this vehicle to be comfortable, but fun as well. And I'm not a young pup. I'm 53 and just turned 53, and I need something that's gonna, I'm gonna be able to ride in for a while. So we'll see how it goes. I'm super excited. So hang with us, and we'll get in it. All right, this is Derek. Hi, Derek.
Hello.
So, Derek, do me a favor and tell us about just TJs and LJs in general.
Okay, so the TJ was made from 97 to 06. The LJ was 04 to 06, which is it's an unlimited, so it's about 10 inches longer in wheelbase, 15 inches longer in kind of cargo room, and yeah, they're a great platform. The 6-cylinder is legendary. Even the little 4-cylinder is a stout little engine, the 2.5. The LJs ride nicer. They're rare, so they bring more of a premium, quite honestly.
And this is the LJ here, yeah?
This is an LJ, yeah. Just barely not stock one. And of course, the cheap Jeep is here currently. And that's just been a fun little project. The goal was to show people on my channel that you don't have to spend a bunch of money to go out and have fun. We put the thing together for $3,500. You know, you can drive it on the street, and it's a blast. So yeah.
So what all did you do to the cheap Jeep?
So it had been wrecked and just was hitting the front axle a little bit. And I went to go pick it up, and it had been stolen. So then it took about a month, and they found it, and the owner took it back. Anyway, brought it home, had a 6-inch lift. I lowered it down to about a 3-inch lift. Put a bunch of parts on it, basically from Marketplace. There was wheels and tires. I put some bumpers on it. Cleaned it up a little bit. Put some new parts, like steering parts on it, and power steering stuff, just minimal stuff, wear and tear stuff, and just been playing around with it.
Cool. And as you guys can see, it is not the best day. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's raining. It's a little windy, but we're gonna do it anyway because that's what we do. So we're gonna cut this off here. We're gonna hop in and see how it feels for somebody who's never been behind a steering wheel of a Jeep. All right, we're driving the cheap Jeep. So guys, keep in mind that this is my first time ever in a Jeep, let alone driving a Jeep. So I've watched a crap ton of videos over the last few weeks on Jeeps and how they drive. Unfortunately, we were talking a little while ago that there's not a whole lot of videos on how Jeeps drive on the road. So it's definitely a learning experience. I don't think it's a bad learning experience, but yeah, keep in mind that these are not made to drive like an SUV or like a Explorer like what I own now. These are made to be off-road. You get on the road to get in between the two. So I've heard complaints about noise. We talked about that. Yeah, it gets louder, but it's a Jeep. My bike's louder. I've also heard you gotta drive it, and you do. You gotta stay on top of it. I'm not having to be ham-fisted with it or anything, but you can tell it sways a little bit. But again, it's not saying it's a bad thing. Of course, I've got to remind myself how to drive a stick, because it's a stick and that's what I wanted, because sticks are fun, but it's been a while. So yeah, so far so good. We're having fun, and as soon as I can hit the right gear, we'll be doing even better. So here we go. So now we're in the LJ, and yeah, big difference. The extra length helped out a lot, and it's new year. This is an 06.
Yep.
And cheap Jeep is a 98, so obviously you got 8 years difference there in auto technology, but big difference driving. Again, first time behind the wheel of a Jeep, but very nice, I will tell you, on both of them I feel like I'm getting a little bit back and forth, but I'm sure that's the off-road part, off-road suspension. I can live with that, to tell you the truth, but I don't know if my wife can, but we'll talk to her about that later. Yeah, just a nice ride. It's a little louder in here. Obviously, we got the back end off, but that's part of the fun of it, right? That's one of the reasons one of the allure for me to have a Jeep is to have that option. I mean, it's raining today, and we're driving down with the breeze, so a lot more comfortable, a lot easier to drive. This is an automatic. Cheap Jeep was a stick, so that comes into effect too, but I like it.
we should both be on camera. Two brothers. This guy's not smoking a pipe right now. I know it's probably weird. But thank you for watching this, guys.
Well, after a few more miles and a few more laughs, we decided to wrap it up. But you guys, this was such an enjoyable experience. First time being behind a wheel of Jeep, and loved every minute of it. But after a little coaxing, Derek got his way, and we couldn't end this without one more little thing to try.
All right, we're gonna get this guy going four-wheeling. What's a little rock pile we've got here? Look at it crawling. This guy's a professional. I love it.
Hey guys, so that was a blast. That was fun. I'm going to hold you up here. I tried to put you in a dash again, and I got tired of that steering wheel being in the way. So, but you guys, I'm telling you, that was. It's mixed. It's mixed because, for starters, I'm not driving away with a cheap Jeep. Not that I came prepared to do that anyway, but first time behind a Jeep was actually better than behind the wheel of a Jeep. Was actually better than I thought it was going to be, because I thought it was going to be cramped, you know, because there's the driving, but there's also how relaxed you are, how not relaxed you are. And I felt like I had more room than I thought I was going to. I thought I'd be touching elbows with Derek, and I wasn't. And I actually thought that the cheap Jeep had a little bit more sideways leg room, but the LJ definitely drove better, you guys, definitely. And what I described to Derek before I left was it's almost like your butt's in a sling, you know, like when you're like one of them swinging seats and your back end kind of swings back and forth. Now, we did talk about how, I'm trying to keep you guys still here, I apologize. We did talk about how, you know, a lot of that off-road suspension, aftermarket suspension, and modifications he's done may have something to do with that, right? So the next plan is, you know, where am I at, right? Where am I going to go? I need to drive a stock TJ to find out, is that what I want? If that suspension is that much different or not. If not, then maybe I look at a newer year. There are some problems with the motors we talked about in some of the newer years between 2007 and I think 11 or 12ish, which I talked about in my other video, that gives me a little bit of concern. I use the word concern loosely, but so I'll have to look at that. But the idea right now is I've got time. I still have to do this part-time job with the ME's office for another couple months yet. So we got time to look at something, possibly do a build, which would be awesome. So we'll see. But in the end, TJs are awesome. Did not expect to do any rock climbing, and yes, I pampered it, but first time, I think, you know, I'd rather take it easy than hit the gas so much and break something that's not mine. So, and I will tell you, that was my that was one of my big things, was I was a little nervous about driving somebody else's vehicle that's so much different, right? You know, and getting in an accident or something like that. So we managed to come out without a scratch. So guys, that was fun. It really was. And Derek, thanks for taking the time with me and helping me to learn what we got to learn and get to where I want to be. And it's great seeing my sister and my brother, of course. So you guys, I'm gonna let you go here. It's probably a pretty long video by this point, but Just want you to know that that was fun, and I strongly suggest if you've never been behind the wheel of a Jeep that you give it a shot. So guys, I hope you're all doing well. Until next time, you take care.